A refurbished Galaxy Note 8, possibly the best option for a screen for your drone, in my opinion. What's up, all you drone maniacs out there? Welcome back to Drone Logic for your channel for the drone news and tech related information. Now, we know this is not a inexpensive hobby of ours. If you go to prosumer level, of course, you can always get cheaper drones out there that are fairly inexpensive. But if you want a premium output, you have to go out there and get a premium product, and prosumer level product. Now you go out there and you spend that money, that no premium price, to get your drone, right? And then you need a screen to be able to see what you're doing. Now most people have screens already in their homes, with all the phones and tablets and pads out there. Most people already have devices, but I believe a Galaxy Note 8, a refurbished Galaxy Note 8, is possibly currently the best option that you can have for a screen, and based upon 5 criteria that I use to determine what makes a perfect screen. 1, processing power; 2, screen brightness; 3, cost; 4, screen resolution; and 5, versatility. All of these things that I believe makes for a perfect screen for your drone. Why I believe that the Galaxy Note 8 is perfect right now, currently the best option. But anyway, let's start with the first thing, in processing power. And there's a reason why I have it first, and that's because you need to have a device that can run the app, the drone app. And if a device can't run the app, then it's pretty useless. Now the phone that I use is a Galaxy J7, which is 2015 J7. And for my first drone I bought, that Shadowhawk, that ProMark Shadowhawk drone, it runs the app with no problem, because that app is not really taxing. But the Go4 app, that's a different story, because I got that phone to link with a drone one time, and the app ran like crap until it crashed. So as far as processing power goes, it's not able to run the Go4 app. Well, a Galaxy Note 8, being that it's very recent, right now Samsung is on the S10 and the Note 10, so you're talking about 2 generations out. So this thing, this Galaxy Note 8 refurbished has more than enough processing power to do whatever you need to do with any drone, and it's going to be relevant for a while. Now I don't use this as a phone, so the 4G is not taken away from resources, but I do use it for social media and email. But I seriously doubt that using it as a phone is going to diminish the performance that much. But as far as processing power goes, a Galaxy Note 8 it basically gets an A+ for me. Now the second thing, screen brightness. We know you out there flying your drone, and you're trying to look at the screen, and you can't see the screen because the sun drowns it out. You have to find shade, and most devices out there really were not designed for that. It was not designed to fight out the sun, and that's where the crystal skies in a smart controller comes in handy. They were designed for that specific purpose. You have the 2 crystal skies and the smart controller with 1,000 nits, and you have that 1 crystal sky with the 2,000 nits. They were specifically designed for the very purpose of you being able to see your drone in any sunlight. Because it can get frustrating sometimes where you can't see what you're doing and you have to seek shelter or seek shade. Now a Galaxy Note 8 has a screen brightness of 1200 nits, so that's more than a small controller in 2 of the crystal skies. And I can tell you, I've never had a single issue seeing the screen with this thing, even in the brightest sunlight at 12 noon when the sun is beaming down on you. The only time that I've ever had an issue is, say, in the morning time when the sun you have the sun behind you, and you hold your screen in a certain position and you get that blinding glare across the screen that just completely blinds it out. And of course with this Gorilla Glass that Gorilla Glass, it just seems to be extra glossy, right? But then again, that could be the case with any screen with that blinding glare. And of course a anti-glare screen would help a lot with that. But beyond that, I've never had a single issue being able to see my screen in any screen brightness out there, any sun brightness out there, any condition. Now, of course, you can always go a cheaper route and get the visors. A lot of people use those visors, but to me, I've always been a KISS type of person. You know, keep it simple, stupid. And those visors just are cumbersome and just more complication of you getting in the air. So me, I prefer to have a screen that I don't have this issue in the first place, than have to deal with another component that you have to carry around and unpack and repack every time you want to fly your drone. And I'm willing to pay the extra cost. Well, with that, you know, with the 1200 nits, you don't have to worry about with the Galaxy Note 8. It passes that in flying colors. So as far as screen brightness go, again, it gets an A+. Now, the second criteria, cost. This is where the crystal skies and the small controller fall off, because they're not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. You know, that 2000 nit crystal sky screen when it first came out was like $1,000. Hell, that's the cost of a Mavic Pro when it first came out, or that's the cost of an Evo, Altel Evo. And I believe you can probably get you a, you know, Mavic Pro Platinum for that price. So that's expensive for something that's just going to be used as a screen. And also the Pro controller, I mean the small controller, it is a controller, so that's something that have to be taken into consideration. But beyond that, those, you know, DJI products, we know they aren't cheap. You have to pay that DJI tax, or the DJI tax, to be able to use their products. Well, this refurbished Note 8 that I have, I paid $300 for this. And the reason why I paid $300, because I mean, if you go on eBay and you look at all the options, there are many options out there. I've seen them as cheap as $250. But me, the reason why I paid $300 for this, because number one, I wanted a phone that worked with both networks. Because me, my service is through Virgin Mobile, which is the Sprint network, and it uses that, you know, the CDMA network. But most of the options that I saw was the GSM network. And me, I wanted to be the ability to be able to use this with my Sprint, I mean with Virgin Mobile. If I need to, I can always drop a SIM card in this thing. And that's, you know, like, so that's just an option to me, and it's always good to have options. And it's also another criteria that you have to think about is condition. Generally, if you search, you'll find there are 3 different conditions, sometimes 4, you know, mint condition, good condition, and used condition. Me, I selected a good condition. And really the only marks on this thing, if you want to call it that, is on the, you know, charge port, and it's really not that bad. Beyond that, this thing is actually mint condition, so I can live with that. But if you want to get a cheaper one, you can always get it cheaper if you just happy with a, you know, just a GMS network phones. But I mean, $250 just as a screen is worth it for what you get for this device. I mean, man, that's well worth it. So as far as cost goes, again, like a refurbished Galaxy Note 8 gets an A+, and that's better than a brand new one. Because if you want to go out and get a brand new one, it'll run you about, I think the latest prices I saw was about $800. So that greatly diminished the cost factor. But it gets an A+. Now the second one is, or the fourth option, that is screen resolution. Now this one is not really that big, because most drones out there transmit in 720 anyway, right? And of course, you know, I know the Phantom 4 Pro, the Phantom 4s transmitted at 1080, but most devices probably are the cheapest, the cheapest lowest resolution that you're going to get is 720. So in that regard, it really doesn't matter. However, having a higher res screen does give you give you a better picture even at 720, and I've experienced that. So the highest resolution of a Galaxy Note 8 is 1440, and having a 720 image on the 1440 screen, you do get a better image. Now it's not major, but if you're out there in the field and you want to critique your photos, it does help, no doubt about it, it does. So it's not that major, but it does help. So as far as resolution goes, screen resolution, again, an A+. Now the third criteria is versatility, and again, this is where critical eyes fall off, as well as the cost. Well, with the Galaxy Note 8, again, you have versatility because it's a phone, so you always have the option to use it as a phone. And just like any phone, tablet, or pad, you can always surf the net with this. Now, I never owned a Crystal Sky because to me the price just wasn't worth it, and I don't know the extent of which you can surf the net on it, but I just don't see where the price of it makes it worth it when you can have a Note 8 which performs so well in all 5 categories, you know. So you just don't have that versatility, especially with the small controller, because it's just a controller. And I don't know the apps that you can download, what DJI allows, but you'll have no restriction whatsoever with a phone. So as far as versatility goes, again, it gets an A+. Now, you can add other criteria out there, such as some people like screen size. To me, the screen size of a Note 8 is the perfect sweet spot. You know, that 6.3-inch screen, it's a perfect sweet spot for me. But if you like a larger screen, hey, there are other options out there. And I'm not saying go out and run and get a Galaxy Note 8, but if you were in the market for looking for something as a screen, it's an option. It's something out there to know, and I just thought I would put that information out there. But anyway, this has been my drone logic for the day. So a Galaxy Note 8, I believe, currently the best option for a screen. And as always, y'all, thank y'all for joining me in this video.